just about to start my workout for today. As always, there are timestamps in the description box down below the video, so if you would prefer to just skip straight ahead to the workout, please go ahead and use the chapter markers to do that. But if you would like to see the exercises demonstrated and explained before we begin, let's go ahead and get into that right now. So first of all, you can see I have my mat here and I have two sets of dumbbells. I have a lighter set of dumbbells and a heavier set of dumbbells. I'm also going to be using my jump rope today and of course my interval timer. If you don't have an interval timer, you can use your phone, that's fine. There's plenty of free apps available. I can't recommend a specific app to use because I've never used one. I've had this little interval timer for a long time. I love it. This is what I use to time my intervals, but these are like $20 or something. So if you don't want to make that investment, there are plenty of free apps that you can use on your phone. So just open up the App Store, check some reviews and see what looks like it's going to work for you. If you do not have dumbbells, then you're going to want to look for household items that will work. So for example, you could grab a couple of shampoo bottles or water bottles. It's easiest to just fill them with water, but you might be able to make them a little bit heavier if you fill them with something like uncooked rice or dried beans, maybe kitty litter or some powdered laundry detergent, just something to give them a little bit of added weight. But as long as you can find something that you're able to maintain a secure grip on and you're not going to drop it and hurt yourself or break something and make a big mess, and as long as whatever you're choosing is not too heavy for you, then any number of household items will work. So shampoo bottles, water bottles are probably going to be the easiest if you have something like that. If you do not have a mat, a towel may suffice. If you're working out on a carpeted floor or on grass, you may not need anything at all. But if you have something soft beneath you, I recommend getting that ready because it will make you more comfortable. And if you don't have a jump rope, first of all, let me know that if you are interested in the jump ropes that I use, this one is Victoria. Victoria is my beautiful silver jump rope with these pretty light pink metallic handles. And as always, there is a link and a coupon code in the description box down below the video. So if you click on that link, use coupon code RUDEBECCA, you can save an additional 10% on your jump rope. But if you don't have a jump rope, that is fine. You can still do this workout right along with me. You have a couple of options. First of all, you can simply eliminate the jump rope sections and it will still be a great workout without the jump rope sections. And again, you can use the chapter markers to skip ahead. When I'm jumping rope, I'm going to be doing 4-minute jump rope sections intertwined with my weighted exercises, my strength training exercises. So if you want, you can just skip over the jump rope sections and just do the other 5 or 6 exercises that we're doing, depending on how you choose to do the workout. Because technically I'm doing 6 exercises, but you can eliminate the first exercise if you want. Remember, if you're doing it, it's your workout, so you do it in whatever way works for you. But that's your first option. If you don't have a jump rope, you can just skip the jump rope sections altogether, and that's fine. But if you want to include the cardio, here are a few more options, okay? So first of all, you can just pantomime jumping rope. So while I'm jumping over Victoria, you can just be pretending to jump over a jump rope, and that is a completely legitimate option. They actually sell ropeless jump ropes. It's really just 2 handles that you hold on to while you pretend that you're jumping over an imaginary rope, and that absolutely works. If you want to invest in something like that, I think that would be a fine investment. If you want to follow my workouts regularly, that's something you will get a lot of use out of because I use my jump rope in most of my workouts. However, if you don't want to make that investment, I really think that you can pantomime jumping over a rope the same way I just showed you. So if you're holding on to handles to jump over an imaginary rope, I think you can probably imagine that you're holding onto handles while you do that. So that's another option, okay? So you can just pantomime jumping rope, and if you don't want to do that, then you can just jog in place or do high knees or mountain climbers or pendulum or any other cardio exercise you want to do while I'm jumping rope. Also, if you have access to something like an exercise bike or a treadmill or an elliptical or a Stairmaster, anything like that, you can hop on one of those and do that for 4 minutes while I'm jumping rope. If you want to take this workout to the field at your local high school, you could jog around the track. So some people might be fast enough that they can get all the way around the track once during those 4-minute jump rope segments. If that's you, great. But if you can only get halfway around the track or a quarter way around the track, why not? You can do that. That's another option. Or you could do up and down the bleachers for those 4-minute sections while I'm jumping rope. You could also do that, of course, at home if you have stairs in your home or in your apartment complex, or if you want to take this workout to the beach or the park or a hiking trail that has steps, you can do up and down the steps there. So basically, if you don't have a jump rope, your first option is just skip the jump rope section. Your second option is to just do any other type of moderate paced cardio for those 4-minute jump rope sections. So while I'm jumping rope, you can be doing any other type of cardio exercise you want. So that's what I'm using today: my mat, my jump rope, a light set of weights, and a heavier set of weights. All right, so if you have all of that stuff, go ahead and get it ready, or whatever of those things that you do have, go ahead and get them ready. So let me just tell you, for reference, and for reference only, my lighter set of dumbbells are 5 pounds a piece, and my heavier set of dumbbells are 10 pounds a piece. Those weights work well for me, but you may need to use something lighter or heavier. That is going to depend, first of all, on your strength and on your level of fitness, but it also depends on what you have available to you and also how hard you are looking to push yourself today. So maybe you can lift the heavier weights, but you're recovering from an injury or a blood donation or something like that, and you just don't want to be lifting anything that heavy today. So it depends on how much you want to challenge yourself today, and it also depends on, like I said, what you have available to you. So for example, if you don't have dumbbells available to you and you're planning on using household items, you're really not going to be able to fill a couple of water bottles with 10 pounds of weight apiece. So you're going to have to work with what you've got. So please just consider all of those factors when choosing your weights and make the decision that is best for you. But if you do have access to 2 sets of dumbbells, that is ideal. You want a lighter set and a heavier set. Now, your lighter set should feel light to you when you pick them up. So for me, these 5-pound dumbbells feel light to me when I pick them up. If picking up a set of 5-pound dumbbells, if they feel heavy to you, then you might want to choose 3-pound dumbbells or even 1-pound dumbbells. All right, so just make sure whatever you're choosing for your light set of weights feels light to you when you pick them up. And then for your heavier set of weights, it shouldn't be the heaviest thing that you can lift. You shouldn't be struggling just to pick them up. You just want something that feels a little bit heavier and is going to challenge you a little bit more. So I'm choosing different weights for each specific exercise. So another thing I want you to be aware of is that if you only have access to 1 set of dumbbells, if that set of dumbbells, the 1 set of dumbbells that you have access to, feels light to you, you can just use those dumbbells for all of the exercises. So when I'm switching over to my heavier dumbbells, you can still hang on to your light set of dumbbells if that's what you've got. That's absolutely fine. However, and this is important, if the only set of dumbbells that you have access to does not feel especially light to you when you pick them up, then I'm going to recommend that you do not use those dumbbells for the exercises where I am using my lighter set of dumbbells. I'm going to recommend that you hold on to something lighter, again, like shampoo bottles or water bottles or something like that, because the exercises where I'm choosing to use my lighter set of weights, those are exercises that I don't recommend using heavy weights to do, okay? So just please be smart, be safe, listen to your body. Please always make sure that you are working to your own level and make sure that you're not pushing your body into doing anything that it is not ready to do. So that's everything I'm using today. Let's go ahead and get into it. The workout is at its core going to be a 20-minute Tabata-style HIIT workout. So when I say Tabata, Tabata is a specific type of HIIT. HIIT stands for high intensity interval training. So we're on intervals today. Tabata means a very specific thing though. A lot of people think that HIIT and Tabata are kind of interchangeable, but they are not. Tabata is always HIIT, but HIIT is not always Tabata. So when I say Tabata, what I mean is this specifically. 10-second rest intervals, 20-second work intervals times 8 rounds. That's 4 minutes. And that is the definition of Tabata. So each exercise that I'm going to show you, we are going to be doing each exercise for 4 minutes. And I'm going to show you 5 exercises. So 5 exercises, 4 minutes on each exercise, that's 20 minutes. And that is essentially what this workout is. So for that reason, I am going to be including this workout on my playlist of 20-minute workouts. So if you chose this workout off of that playlist because you specifically want to do a 20-minute workout, then all you're going to do is those 5 exercises, spending 4 minutes on each exercises, 10 seconds rest, 20 seconds work, times 8 rounds, and that's your workout. So I'm going to show you those 5 exercises, but after each one of those exercises, I am also going to be adding on some moderate paced cardio. So that's what the jump rope is for. So I'm going to do my first strength training exercise for 4 minutes, and then I'm going to do 4 minutes of interval jump rope. I'm going to keep my timer set the same way, 10-second rest intervals and 20-second work intervals times 8 rounds. And then after my first jump rope section, I'll move on to the next exercise in my circuit, the next strength training exercise. We'll do that for 4 minutes and then jump rope for 4 minutes. And we'll keep going that way until we have made our way through the list of 5 exercises. There's also going to be a 6th exercise, or I guess you could call it a 7th exercise if you're counting the jump rope portions as an exercise. But before we get to all of the Tabata stuff and the jump rope, there's going to be a buy-in. So I'm going to be doing mini squat pulses. That's the first exercise. That's what I'm starting with. But again, if you just want to do the 20-minute Tabata-style HIIT workout, you're going to skip over the buy-in. So make sure that you're making good use of the chapter markers so that you can customize the workout and skip over whatever parts are not going to be relevant to you. But I'm going to be starting with a buy-in. So I'm doing 400 mini squat pulses. It's gonna be so much fun. So you're going to want to start by rolling your shoulders back and down, keeping your chest lifted high. You're going to tighten up your abs, and then you're going to push your booty back as though you're trying to touch the wall behind you with your booty. And you're going to remember to keep your chest lifted high while you do that. So at the same time that you're thinking about trying to touch the wall behind you with your booty, I want you to think about trying to touch the wall in front of you with your chest. The point is that you want your spine nice and elongated so that your back stays flat. You want to avoid having a rounded back. So tuck the shoulder blades into the back pockets, keep that chest lifted high, push the booty back. And now my back is flat, the weight is in my heels. You can see that I can actually pick up my toes. And then from this position is where you can go ahead and sink down into your squat. Do your best to see if you can get your thighs parallel to the ground, if you can. Again, it's really important to make sure that you're working to your own level, so don't push your body into doing anything it's not ready to do, but that's what you're going for. But as long as your back is flat and the weight is in your heels, that's what's important. So let's put it all together. Shoulders are back and down, chest is lifted high, abs are super strong and tight and engaged. We're hinging at the hips, pushing that booty back, keeping the chest lifted high, the back stays flat, the weight stays in your heels as you sink down into your squat. And now what you're going to do is press your heels into the ground, but you're not going to stand all the way. You're not going to straighten your legs all the way and return to your starting position. You're just going to come up about halfway. So you're gonna squat and then come up about halfway, and then you're gonna sink right back down into your squat. So we're just going to pulse like this. That's the exercise. And each pulse counts as 1 rep. We're doing 400 of those. So it's gonna be so much fun. So shoulders back and down, chest is lifted high, push the booty back, back stays flat, weight stays in the heels, sink down into your squat, and then pulse. 2, 3, 4, 5, like that. Okay, so we're gonna do that 400 times, and that's the buy-in. If you do want to do the buy-in, but 400 reps is too many, do 300 or 200 or 100, all right? It's your workout, you do it in whatever way works for you. But after we complete that buy-in, we're going to move on to the Tabata section of the workout. So that's when I'm going to reset my timer for 10-second rest intervals, 20-second work intervals times 8 rounds. So the first exercise that we are doing as our Tabata section of the workout is going to be a body weight exercise. So you'll see that as I make my way through this list of 5 exercises, I'm going to be increasing the weight each time. So the first exercise, I'm not adding any weight. The second exercise, I'm going to be adding 1 5-pound dumbbell. Then for the third exercise, I'm going to be holding on to both of my 5-pound dumbbells. Then for the next exercise, I'm going to be holding on to 1 10-pound dumbbell. And for my fifth and final exercise in the circuit, I'm going to be holding on to both of my 10-pound dumbbells. So we're gradually adding weight, 5 pounds at a time. So the first exercise, there's no added weight. And for the last exercise, there's going to be 20 pounds of added weight for me. All right, so that's the kind of progression that we're taking. So for this first exercise, there's no added weight. I'm going to be doing bear planks. So you're going to be essentially in kind of a tabletop position. So you're going to spread out all 10 fingers and place your hands on the mat directly underneath your shoulders, and your knees are bent. You want your knees basically right underneath your hips. Curl your toes under like this, and from here, you're just going to press your toes into the mat, and you're going to just lift your knees up off the mat just a couple of inches and hold here. This is your bear plank. This is our starting position for the first exercise. So now from here, I'm going to pick up 1 foot. I'm going to pick up the opposite hand, and I'm going to kick this foot through. So I'm bending the knee, bringing this foot around the front of my other leg that's bent. And I'm going to end up right here with this leg extended and my heel on the ground. I'm going to extend the other arm overhead. And then I'm going to lift this leg, keeping the leg more or less straight. And I'm going to bring my hand across to tap the toes. And then I'm going to reverse the movement. So bend this knee, bring this hand over, tuck the knee back under, and return to your starting position. All right? It's essentially a tabletop position with your knees lifted up off of the mat just by a couple of inches. All right? And I'm going to stay on the same side for the entire work interval. I'm going to switch sides with each work interval. So we're going to start with our 10-second rest interval, just to get ready. And then with our first 20-second work interval, I'm going to lift the knees, kick that foot through, lift the leg and tap the toes, and then rotate back into my starting position. And repeat, same side. Return to the starting position. Pick up the same foot and kick it through, pick up the opposite hand, lift the leg, tap the toes, all right, for 20 seconds. And then we'll rest for 10 seconds, and then with the next 20-second work interval, we'll do the same exercise on the other side. So lifting the knees, kicking the other leg through, extending the opposite arm overhead, lift the leg, tap the toes, and reverse the movement. Staying on the same side. Kick the leg through, lift the leg and tap the toes, and return to your bear plank. All right, that's the first exercise. The next exercise is super tough. I always really struggle with this exercise. So make sure that you're picking up one of your light weights for this. This exercise, trust me, even with a weight that feels light to you, is going to be so challenging. So definitely, if you want to add weight, pick up a light weight. And you're going to come down onto your mat, on your belly. If it's too difficult with the added weight, I will give you an equipment-free option. But first, this is what I'm doing. So I'm going to be down here on my belly, and I'm going to start with my weight in front of my mat like this. I'm going to reach over and grab a hold of the weight with one hand, And I'm extending the other arm overhead as well, but only one hand is holding onto the weight. And I'm going to lift my, the tops of my legs up off the mat as well. Well, I guess, yeah. I'm gonna lift my legs up a couple of inches off the mat as well. And then from here, I'm going to do these around the world. So I'm going to bring the weight around. And as I do that, I'm going to bring my free hand around the other side, and I'm going to pass the dumbbell. As soon as my dumbbell gets here where it's at kind of the small of my back, I'm going to transfer the dumbbell into the other hand and bring it around. Okay, so the dumbbell is traveling around in a circle around my body, and my hands are really just doing this. So it's kind of easier to show you from here. So I'm lying on my mat, but with my hands I'm doing this. I'm bringing the weight behind me, transferring the dumbbell. So my arms are just kind of going up and down like a jumping jack, kind of. But with weight added, and I'm just transferring the dumbbell from one hand to the other behind my back. And actually, this is another really good option if it's too difficult to do this lying down on your belly. You can do it kneeling on your mat. You may want to double up your mat a couple of times because that does put a lot of pressure on your knees, or you can grab a throw pillow or a seat cushion so that you have some protection for your knees, or you could really even do that from standing. Okay, so from a standing position, you can absolutely just do the same thing. And I'm just going in the same direction. You can alternate directions if you prefer, but the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to keep the dumbbell traveling in a clockwise motion for the entire 20-second work interval. And then with the next work interval, I'll switch directions, like this. But with each work interval, the dumbbell is traveling in the same direction continuously. All right, so that's the exercise. I'm just going to be doing that from like a Supergirl position. So if you don't want to add weight, what you really can do is either just lift and hold your Supergirl position. So it's like you're flying, right? You can call it a Superman if you are a boy. That is fine by me. But you're just lifting your chest and lifting your legs. And you can hold right here for 20 seconds, then rest for 10, and then with the next 20-second work interval, just hold here. Or you can do chest lifts, okay? So you can rest for 10, and then with each 20-second work interval, you can lift the chest and then lower it back down. So those are some body weight options if you don't want to add weight to this. And some kneeling and standing options if it's too difficult to pass the dumbbell around your back while you are in this Supergirl pose. But I'm going to be combining the Supergirl pose with the around the world. So my exercise is going to look like this. I'm down here on my belly. I'm lifting my legs up off the mat, lifting my chest up off the mat, starting with my arms extended overhead, dumbbell in one hand. I'm going to bring the dumbbell around and behind me, transfer the dumbbell to the other hand, and bring it back around. Traveling in the same direction the whole time. So with the next rep, I'm transferring the dumbbell again, here at the top of the movement, bringing it around. Just like that. Then I'll rest for 10, and then with my next 20-second work interval, I'm going to do the same exercise, but I'm going to start with the dumbbell in the opposite hand, and I'm going to pass it around in a counterclockwise motion for the entire 20-second work interval, and that's it. It is a lot harder than it looks. And this 5-pound weight that feels so light to me when I pick it up is going to feel very, very heavy by the end of that first work interval. So it's a very tough exercise. Just do your best. If you start doing the exercise the way I'm doing it, but then it gets to be too much, drop the weight and just do chest lifts, or just hold your Supergirl pose, or you can go up onto your knees or come up to stand and pass the dumbbell the way I showed you. Those are your options, but that's what I'm going to be doing. It's going to be a tough 4 minutes, so do your best, but that's exercise number 2. Exercise number 3, also going to be tough. So for this one, I'm going to be holding on to both of my 5-pound dumbbells. So these are my lighter weights. So again, for this exercise, I would prefer that you choose weights that feel very light to you. So if all you have are heavier dumbbells, then I'm going to recommend that you either eliminate the weight altogether or that you use household items that feel light, like shampoo bottles or water bottles. But we're just doing arm circles. So I'll show you first without the weights, super simple. We're just going to extend our arms out to the side and make circles, okay? You don't want your circles to be too big, just small circles, like you're just kind of making a circle around your shoulder joint, okay? So extending the arms straight out to the side, and your circles are right about here, okay? On the small side. So I am rotating my arms to the back. I'm going to do that for 20 seconds, and then with my next 20-second work interval, I'm going to rotate my arms going to the front. So clockwise and then counterclockwise. I'll switch which direction the rotation is going with each work interval. So you can stay right there with no added weight if you want, that's fine. Doing that for 4 minutes is going to be plenty challenging without any added weight whatsoever. But I am going to make myself cry today by doing this with weight. So holding onto my light set of weights, exact same exercise. I'm going to start by lifting my arms directly out to the sides, and then I'm just going to make circles. So with my first 20-second work interval, I'm circling in a clockwise motion so that the circles are rotating to the back. Then I'll rest for 10 seconds with my next 20-second work interval, lift the arms to the side, and now I'm gonna make my circles so that they're going in a counterclockwise direction, rotating forward. All right, so again, if you start with the weights, but it gets to be too difficult, drop the weights and just do the exercise without any added weight. That's absolutely fine. But that is the 3rd exercise. The 4th exercise, so now I'm done with my smaller weights. And for the 4th exercise, I'm going to pick up just one 10-pound dumbbell. So we're not technically adding weight because these are 5-pound dumbbells. So with the previous exercise was 10 pounds of added weight, and this is a 10-pound dumbbell. So for me, it's the same amount of added weight, but the weight is distributed, makes it a little bit different. So instead of holding 5 pounds in each hand, I'm just going to hold my 10-pound dumbbell like this. I have one hand on either side of the dumbbell, and this is going to be a sit-up, but that's not really the exercise. It's just gonna be one sit-up for each 20-second work interval. We're gonna sit up once, and then the rest of the work interval, we're doing tricep overhead presses. But when I'm resting, I'm going to start down here on my back, on my mat with my knees bent and my feet flat on the floor. My arms are extended up overhead, and I'm holding on to either end of my dumbbell. So now I'm going to sit up, and as I sit up, I'm going to bring the weight with me and reach up overhead. So now I'm in this seated position. I'm reaching up like I'm trying to touch the ceiling with my dumbbell and extending my spine. My back is flat. And from here, I'm going to spend the rest of the work interval doing tricep overhead presses. So what that means is that I'm going to hinge at the elbows. I'm going to bend my elbows, letting the weight fall behind me, and then I'm going to straighten my elbows and press the weight back up overhead. And that's it, that's the exercise. So bend the elbows, drop the weight behind you, straighten the elbows and press the weight up overhead. I'll do that for 20 seconds, and then with my rest interval, I'll come back down with my back on the mat, knees bent, feet flat on the mat, and I'll rest here for 10. With my next 20-second work interval, I'll do another sit-up, press the weight up overhead, and then I'm gonna stay here and and do my tricep overhead press for 20 seconds, and then come down and rest for 10. So with the tricep overhead press, you want to make sure that you are keeping your insides of your elbows glued to your temples. All right, the point is that you're hinging at the elbow. So from your shoulder to your elbow should stay perfectly still. All right, so keep those insides of your elbows glued to your temple. What you're trying to avoid is this. As you lower the weight behind you, you want to make sure your elbows aren't going behind you as well. And as you straighten your arms, you want to make sure your elbows aren't coming in front of you. So your arms are straight up, and right here, this is where you want your elbow to stay, glued to your temple. So it's not going behind you, and it's not coming in front of you. It's staying right here. You're hinging at the elbow. From your shoulder to your elbow stays perfectly stationary. That's what you're going for. All right, so if 10 pounds is too heavy, again, you can stick with your lighter weight. That's absolutely fine. Just make the decision that is best for you. If you don't want to do the sit-up and you just want to focus on your tricep overhead presses, that's fine. You can eliminate the sit-up and you can just either stand and do your tricep overhead press from here, or you could do this from a kneeling position. That'll help activate your core a bit more. Again, just make sure that you have enough protection for your knees because it is kind of taxing on your knees to do that. So it might be as simple as doubling up your mat a couple of times, or again, you can fold up a towel or grab a throw pillow or a couch cushion or a chair cushion, probably not a couch cushion, and put it under your knees to make it more comfortable. But those are a couple of other options. If you don't want to add weight, then you're not going to be doing the tricep overhead presses because without any weight to press up overhead, it really doesn't make any sense to do that. So you can really just do abs instead. So I was doing a sit-up and then a tricep overhead press. So you can eliminate the tricep overhead press and just do sit-ups, that's fine. And you don't have to do sit-ups the way I do them. You can do any sit-up variation you want. You can have your hands clasped behind your head. You can bring your knees or your elbows to your knees if you want. You can have your legs straight and you can sit up and come forward and touch your toes. You could do any kind of sit-up, any kind of crunch variation you want, any ab exercise you want. Or if you still want to work your upper body but you don't want to add weight, we're not doing push-ups for any of the exercises in this workout, so you could do a push-up variation. That would be fine, either from your knees or from your toes, hands on the mat, hands elevated, whatever works for you. But there's really not any point to doing the tricep overhead press if you're not holding on to any weight. So if you need an equipment-free option, then you can substitute with any ab exercise you want, or maybe a push-up exercise if you want. All right, so that was the fourth exercise. Fifth and final exercise. I am doing Arnold presses. I'm going to be adding a little march at the top of the movement. So for this exercise, I'm going to be using both of my 10-pound dumbbells. So heavier dumbbells are fine for this, just to make sure that they're not too heavy for you. But if you don't have access to a set of heavier dumbbells, you can use light dumbbells, shampoo bottles, water bottles, that's absolutely fine. But for the Arnold press, all that means is that I'm going to start with the weights in front of me like this. So to get here, what I just did is rotate my wrists so that they are facing you. You are looking at my wrist, the inside of my wrists, okay? So the palms of my hands are facing you. And then I'm basically just going to do a bicep curl. So that means that I'm bending my elbows and I'm lifting the weights up in front of me like this. So now the backs of my hands are facing you and I'm touching the weights together in front of my chest. Now from here, I'm going to bring the weights around and to my shoulders. So I just made a little semicircle. So right now you're looking at the backs of my hands. Right now you're looking at my palms again, okay? And then from here, I'm going to press the weights up overhead. That's an Arnold press. So then you would reverse the movement, bend your elbows, bring the weights back down to your shoulders, and then do your little semicircle, squeeze the weights together in front of you, all right? Make sure you're controlling the movement so you're not banging the weights together. You wanna squeeze, really feel it in your chest muscles, okay? So you're rotating your hands as you're holding onto the weights. So you're seeing the backs of my hands, now you're seeing my palms as I press the weight up overhead, and then as I squeeze the weights together in front of me again, I'm bringing them back around. So now you're looking at the backs of my hands again. That's an Arnold press. We're going to add a couple of marches. So it's going to look like this. Starting with the weights up in front of you. Bring the weights to your shoulders, press them up overhead, and now wait. We're gonna stay here for 2 marches. So I'm going to pick up one foot and drive the knee up as high as I can towards my chest, place the foot back down with control, and then I'm going to repeat that on the other side. Pick up the other foot, drive the knee up in front of my chest, and then I'm going to complete my Arnold press. Bend my elbows, bring the weights back down to the shoulders, squeeze them together in front of me, all right? So all of that is 1 rep. So weights to the shoulders, press the weights up overhead, march, march, really drive those knees up. Bring the weights back down to the shoulders, squeeze in front of you. That's 1 rep. Overhead press, march, march. Bring the weights to the shoulders, squeeze them together in front of you. All right, that is the 5th and final exercise of our Tabata circuit. So it's not an exercise that you can really rush. So it's only a 20-second work interval. The goal is to get as many reps done as you can with good form during that 20-second work interval. So you want to move as quickly as you can, but you want to make sure that every aspect of the movement is under control. So you have to find that balance. All right, you want to move as quickly as you can, but you not at the expense, you don't want to be just flailing around. Make sure that every aspect of the movement is under control. So make sure that as you bring the weights back down to your shoulders, you're not just letting them drop down. Make sure you're not banging the weights together in front of you. You're controlling the movement so you barely tap the weights together in front of you. You want to feel that squeeze. Okay, and as you lift those legs, make sure you're really driving the knee up and feeling it in your core. All right, you don't want to just be kind of flailing around, going through the motions. Make sure you're paying attention to the movement. You want the movement to be mindful and under control. But that's it. That's our buy-in, plus all 5 of our Tabata-style exercises. The only other thing we're doing is jump rope. So any style of jump rope you want to do is fine. When I jump rope, I always just kind of jog in place like this. So you can do that with me if you want, great. If you prefer to jump with your feet together, jump with your feet together, okay? If you like jumping rope like this, you can do this. It doesn't matter. All right, if you're really good at jump rope, you can do something more challenging, like high knees or jump rope jacks. You can jump side to side. You can do twist jumps. You can jump on 1 leg, okay? So it doesn't matter. The point is just to get your heart rate up, and 4 minutes of any type of moderate pace cardio you want to do is fine. So if you're jumping rope with me, any style of jump rope. If you don't have a jump rope, you can do any other type of moderate paced cardio for those 4-minute sections, and that's it. That's the workout. So it's 20 minutes of Tabata-style HIIT, 20 minutes of moderate paced cardio with the jump rope, 20 minutes of interval jump rope, and those are going to be like intertwined. And before we get to all of that, we're doing our buy-in, okay? So here's the format. Starting with the buy-in, 400 mini squat pulses. Once that's done, we're going to move on to our first Tabata-style exercise. So we're going to do our bear plank kick through plus a leg lift and a toe tap for a total of 4 minutes. 10 seconds rest, 20 seconds work times 8 rounds. Then we're going to move on to our first jump rope section, 4 minutes of interval jump rope. So we're keeping the timer, the interval timer set for 10 seconds of rest, 20 seconds of work times 8 rounds. And then we're going to just work through the rest of the circuit in that same way. We're gonna move on to the next exercise, 4 minutes, then 4 minutes of jump rope, then another weighted 4-minute exercise, 4 minutes of jump rope, until we've made it all the way through our circuit of 5 Tabata-style exercises. Make sense? It makes perfect sense, trust me. Just remember that I always take the time to type out the instructions in the description box down below the video, and I'm going to do the entire workout right along with you. So watch me do it, read the instructions. But then of course, as always, if anything is unclear with the format and how it all fits together, if you have questions about any of the specific exercises that we are doing today, or if you need any further help with equipment-free substitutions or beginner modifications, please just ask. It is very important that you understand how to do the exercises correctly before you begin the workout, so that you reduce your risk of injury, and also just so that you make sure you are getting the maximum benefit out of each exercise. And you guys know it is so important to me that all of my workouts are always accessible to anyone and everyone who wants to do them with me. I am always here to help facilitate that. So please don't hesitate to reach out if you have questions or if you need help. Also, please remember, especially if you are going to be working out along with the video, it is very important to make sure that you are going at your own pace. Work to your own level, okay? So consider your level of fitness and your strength when choosing your weights. Select weights that are appropriate for you. Take rest breaks when and if you need them. Okay, do not push your body into doing anything that it is not ready to do. If you're in really good shape, you'll probably be a lot faster than I am. I will probably be taking rest breaks where you don't need them. That's fine. Be faster than I am, as long as you're not sacrificing your form to get there. All right, if you get too far ahead of me, use the chapter markers to skip ahead in the video. That's fine. If you are slower than I am, that is great, okay? And I do mean that. I mean, it is great, because how would you even know that you are slower than I am unless you are out here doing the work? So don't worry if you're moving at a slower pace than I am, if you're needing to pause and take rest breaks, or if I'm moving on to the next section too quickly for you and you're not ready, just pause the video. Okay, you don't want to be racing to keep up with me at the expense of your form. If your form starts to get sloppy, then you are again putting yourself at a greater risk of injury, and I don't want anyone getting hurt. You should never be sacrificing your form for speed. So you want to challenge yourself to keep the rest breaks as short as you can, but they should be as long as you need. If you need to pause and rest, pause and rest. Pause the video. I will be here when you come back and we can finish the workout together. But you should only continue once you feel that you have regained enough strength and you have enough stamina so that you can continue with good form. So again, it comes down to listening to your body. Be smart, be safe. Don't push your body into doing anything it is not ready to do. And please don't sacrifice your form for speed. Make sure that you are going at your own pace and work to your own level. I hope I've covered everything. So if you are ready to go ahead and start the workout, grab an exercise mat or a yoga mat if you have one. If not, a towel may suffice. And again, if you are working out on a carpeted floor or on grass, you may not need anything. But you will likely be more comfortable with something soft beneath you. So definitely grab a mat if you have one. Grab your jump rope if you have a jump rope and if you're jumping rope with me. If not, remember that you can eliminate the jump rope sections, or you can substitute with any other type of cardio exercise you want while I am jumping rope. Grab a couple of sets of dumbbells if you have access to a lighter set of dumbbells and a heavier set of dumbbells. If you only have access to one set of dumbbells, get those ready. Just remember that if your dumbbells do not feel especially light to you when you pick them up, that I recommend not adding weight until we get to the final 2 exercises. You have your equipment-free options for the first 3 exercises of our Tabata circuit, so please make use of those options if you do not have a set of dumbbells that feels especially light to you. If your one set of dumbbells does feel especially light to you, that's fine. You can use those dumbbells for all 4 exercises where I'm adding weight. And again, remember that if you do not have dumbbells at all, that you can use household items. So grab a couple of shampoo bottles or water bottles filled with some sort of weight, water, dried rice, beans, kitty litter, powdered laundry detergent, something like that. And then grab an interval timer if you have one, and if you're going to be doing the workout on your own. But if not, remember that you can just use my timer, and then pause the video. Once you have gathered all of your equipment, go ahead and get dressed, and then meet me right back here. We will do a quick 5-minute warm up, and then we'll get the workout done together. All right, so as soon as you're ready, let's get started with our 5-minute warm up. So you're going to begin by just allowing your head to fall towards one shoulder. Place your hand on top of your head and just rest it there. Make sure you're not actively pulling your ear down towards your shoulder. You just want to let gravity do all the work. So your arm is relaxed, your shoulders are relaxed. We're going to switch sides. So you're going to let go with your hand, allow your head to fall towards the opposite shoulder. Place your hand on top of your head and just rest it there. Again, letting gravity do all the work of just gently stretching the other side of your neck. Make sure your shoulders are relaxed. Don't let them creep up by your ears, and make sure your arm is completely relaxed. Next, we're going to do some neck rolls. So let go with your hand. You're going to begin by just allowing your chin to fall to your chest, and then to the other shoulder and back. And each time you roll your head, you just want to feel your head getting heavier and heavier, and allowing your entire torso to drop in front of you. Your arms are nice and loose like a rag doll. And now we're going to do some shoulder rolls. So just making big circles with your shoulders towards the back. Really exaggerate the movement. Make the circles as big as you possibly can. Next, we're going to do arm circles, but we're going to start small with our arm circles. So you're going to extend your arms straight out to the side, and you're going to start by just making little circles, but gradually as the interval progresses, you're going to start making your circles bigger and bigger until finally you are exploring your full range of motion, making the circles as big as you can. Now you're going to step your feet out so that they're a little wider than hip width apart, bend the knees and kind of sweep your hands in front of you. And then as you straighten the legs, you're stretching, reaching up as high as you can. And each time you bend the knees, you're sinking deeper and deeper into that squat, gradually expanding your range of motion. Now keep the feet planted right where they are. We're just gonna lunge side to side, nice and easy, adding the arms. So with each lunge, you're reaching across your body with your arm. Should feel like you're trying to throw your arm across the room. Now you're gonna step the feet into the middle and march. Starting with the knees low, but again, gradually, as the interval progresses, you're going to start driving your knees up higher and higher until eventually you're driving your knees up as high as you can towards your chest. Feel a nice little stretch in your glutes. And now we're gonna do the same thing with a jog. So starting with a nice light jog, knees are low to begin, but little by little, you're going to start driving your knees up towards your chest until finally you're driving those knees up as high as you can. Next is booty kicks. So it's still a nice light jog, but with each step, you're bringing your foot up behind you, trying to kick yourself in the booty cheek with your heel. Now for this next one, you may need to hold on to a chair or the wall for support. If not, you can just have your hands on your hips. You're going to transfer your weight into one leg, pick up the other foot, and just swing the leg. Swing it in front, swing it behind, nice and loose. And we're going to switch sides. So you're going to put this foot down, transfer the weight, pick up the other foot, and just start swinging the leg. You can start low at first, and then gradually, as the interval progresses, start expanding your range of motion, kicking the leg up higher. Now you're going to transfer the weight again, extend this foot out in front of you, and draw it around and behind you, making a semicircle. And each time you make your semicircle, you're gonna lift that leg higher and higher until finally you're going to drive the knee up in front of you. Hip circle. Guide the knee around with your hand, other leg. So extend the leg out in front of you, starting with the foot low to the ground, making semicircles. With each semicircle, raising the leg higher and higher, and then finally, drive the knee up in front of you towards your chest. Use your hand to guide it around. And we're gonna finish with a hamstring stretch. So you can use the wall or a chair to assist you. Just makes getting into this stretch a little bit easier and a little bit more comfortable because we're trying to keep our back flat. If you allow your back to round in this stretch, it's fine. You're not going to injure yourself. But if you make an effort to keep your back flat as you come down into this stretch, you're instantly going to feel the stretch intensify. You're going to help isolate your hamstrings. It's going to make the stretch a lot more effective. So if you use a chair or the wall to assist you, it just makes it easier to access this stretch while keeping a flat back. Like I said, it just makes it a little bit easier and a little bit more comfortable getting into the stretch that way. But you want to try to keep your back as flat as you can. Okay, so me, I always like to spend a few extra seconds in that hamstring stretch because the backs of my legs get really tight and I want to make sure that I'm nice and loose and ready to go, ready for the workout. So now my muscles are all nice and warmed up. I've got my heart rate up a little bit, feeling good and loose. So when you're ready, let's go ahead and begin the workout. All right, so part one, if you are doing this part one with me, this is our buy-in. We're doing mini squat pulses, 400 reps. I know it's a lot. So you can do 300, you can do 200, you can do 100, or you can just skip this part. That is up to you, but I'm going to be doing 400 mini squat pulses. It's gonna be super tough, but we're gonna get it done, all right? So just do your best. I have reset my timer as a stopwatch. I'm timing this portion of the workout separately, so just remember your shoulders are back and down. Keep your chest lifted nice and high. Tighten up your abs, pushing the booty back. You want to make sure your back stays flat and the weight stays in your heels the entire time. So as soon as you're ready, I'm starting my timer in 3, 2, 1, and go. So coming down into your squat, and then you're going to pulse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 10. 20, 30, 40, 50. If we were doing 60 of these, I could have kept going. I could have pushed through and done another 10, but since I'm pacing myself for 400, I'm gonna pause here and rest. So remember to pause and take rest breaks as needed. I'm going to see if I can do another 50 without stopping. Just get my first 100 reps done. Not sure if that's going to happen, but that's my goal. So as soon as you're ready, here we go. I'm picking up my count on 50. I'm gonna try to see if I can do another 50 before my legs give out. I did it. I got through another 50 without stopping. So that's my first 100. If that's good enough for you and you're done with this buy-in, skip ahead to part 2. Originally, I was going to do 300 reps for my buy-in. I've done that before, and it's tough, but it's doable, but it didn't really match with the rest of the workout since everything is 4 minutes. So I decided to go ahead and do 400 reps. So like, what's another 100 reps of mini squat pulses? Well, when you're not in shape and it's hot, definitely regretting this decision right about now. I don't think I have another set of 50 in me. I will try, but right now I'm giving myself permission to split up my next couple of chunks of 50 into 30 and 20. So if I can get to 30, I'll be happy. I'll take a short rest break and then do another 20. And that'll get me to 150, but maybe I can still do 50 without stopping. We'll find out together. As soon as you're ready, here we go. So I'm picking up my count at 100. Shoulders back and down, chest lifted high. Tighten up the abs, back flat, weight in the heels. Sink into the squat and pulse. 10. 20. 30. 'Short rest break, just a few breaths, about 15-20 seconds. What happened, Coda? 50. I said 30, but that was 40. That was 50. It's okay, Coda. Coda! It's okay, baby. Not quite halfway there yet. I'm going to see if I can do that for my next 50 reps. 30 reps unbroken. I know, honey. then another 20. Just rest for, see if I can keep the rest break to about 15, 20 seconds in between. All right, so when you are ready, here we go. I'm picking up my count at 150. One more. 60. 70. Ow. 80. That's 200. All right. Halfway there, unless you want to say that's enough. I absolutely do not blame you. So if you want to say that's enough for your buy-in, just move on to our first Tabata-style exercise. If you want to keep going with me, I am going to do another 200 reps. Obviously it's going to take a minute, but I'm going to get them done. So I'm taking a nice long rest break here at the halfway point. I'm going to see, working my way through my next 100 reps, I'm going to see if I can do it the same way I did for my last 100 reps. Meaning that I'm going to do 30 and 20, and then 30 and 20. So I'll take a long break at the halfway point of this 100. So I'll take a longer rest break when I get to 250 reps. But between the 30 and the 20, I just want to take like a 15, 20 second break if I can. So that's what I'm going for. That's what I was able to do for reps 101 through 200. So I'll try that again. All right, if you need a longer rest break, pause the video. Come back when you're ready. I am going to get started on my next 50, so we're going to try to do 30 unbroken if we can. Picking up my count at 200 when you're ready. It's 10. 20. 30. Trying to keep this rest break as short as I can. All right, let's see if we can finish up with another 20. 40. 50, so I'm halfway to my next 100. actually toyed with the idea of doing 500 of these because that would also fit, since our circuit is 5 exercises, we're doing 5 jump rope sections. I thought maybe do 500 reps of mini squats, but I thought that might be a bit too much. And the 400 also works with the 4-minute work sections that we're doing. So at least be thankful we're now going to 500, I guess. All right, I am at 250, right? So I'm gonna try to do that same thing for this next 50 reps. I'm going to try to do 30 unbroken, take a short 15, 20 second rest break, finish up with my final 10, and that'll get me to 300. We're getting there. So as soon as you're ready, here we go. Picking up my count at 150. 80. $90. Is that 300? Or is that 250? Now I'm confused. I feel like that was 300 for now. I'm counting that as 300. I'm gonna do 2 more sets of 50 and stop my timer. And I'm going to tentatively record that as my score for the buy-in, but then I'll probably end up doing another 50 reps just to make sure, because I feel like I might have missed, or maybe I'll tack them on at the end. We'll see. I feel like that was 300, but then I also feel like I skipped some. So I've skipped ahead of my count or something. So for now, I'm calling that 300. I'm gonna do another 100, and then I'll probably just end up doing another 100 at the end just to make sure, knowing that they might be extra, but anyway. All right, yet another reason it's not a great idea to do so many reps of these. It's hard to keep track. You could always have a piece of paper and make slashes. That's what I usually do, but I thought I would be able to keep track of these. I don't know why I thought that. I can never keep track of my count. All right, so I'm gonna say I have 100 left to go, and I'm gonna try to keep going 30-20, 30-20. All right, so that was a nice long rest break. Now I'm gonna try to do 30 unbroken, 15, 20-second rest break, and then another 20, and then we'll take a rest break and repeat that again. All right, so I'm gonna say that I'm picking up my count at 300. I hope I'm not cheating. All right, here we go. 10, 20, 30. Gonna rest for about 20 seconds. And then pick it up at 30 when you're ready. 40. I'm calling that 350. Just have 50 reps left to go. So this buy-in is gonna end up taking me about 20 minutes. Add that to the 20 minutes of Tabata-style HIIT, 20 minutes of interval jump rope. So depending on how long of a rest break I need in between segments, it's gonna take me just between an hour and 90 minutes, let's say. So I'll try to keep it as close to an hour as I can. But for now, I still have to finish up the buy-in, so I still have to do another 50 reps of mini squat pulses. So I'm picking up my count at 350. I'm gonna try to do 30 without stopping, just like I have been. So that's 360, I think. 370, 75, 6, 7, 8, 9, 380. Just 20 more reps left to go. Trying to keep this rest break to just about 20 seconds if I can. I'm not looking at my timer, just going by feel. I would like to rest longer, but let's push. We just have 20 reps left. 85, 90, 95, 6, 7, 8, 99, and I am calling that 400. I'm not 100% sure that I didn't lose track of my count at some point, but for now I'm saying the buy-in is complete. Part 1 is done. That took me 19 minutes and 30 seconds. So now I'm resetting my timer for 10-second rest intervals, 20-second work intervals, times 8 rounds. And that's 4 minutes. That is our Tabata section. Oh my God, I can't walk, my legs are jelly. All right, shake it out. My legs are absolute jelly, you guys. So I'm going to breathe for another minute or so before I start on the our Tabata circuit. So now might be a good time. You can pause the video if you want. Go towel off. Get a sip of water or Gatorade or something and just kind of shake it out. You can stretch out your quads a little bit if they're shaking like mine are. And when you're ready, just come back. So our first exercise, we're doing with no added weight. Even if you are adding weights with me later on, this first exercise is body weight only. But you will be more comfortable with something soft beneath you, so come down onto your mat or your towel. This is our bear plank with a kick through, leg raise, and toe touch. I will be staying on one side for each work interval. I'll switch sides with each work interval. So when you're ready, starting in your bear plank, so come up to a tabletop position with your hands directly underneath your shoulders and your knees, directly underneath your hips. Curl your toes under. And here we go. I'm starting my timer in 3, 2, 1. This is our 10-second rest interval. So we have a few seconds to get ready and we don't lose anything off of our work interval. Now you're going to press into the mat with your toes, lift your knees up off the mat, just a couple of inches, kick that leg through, and then lift the leg and tap the toes. Return to your starting position. Staying on the same side for the entire work interval. Rest. With the next work interval, we'll switch sides. So press the toes into the mat, lift the knees, pick up the opposite foot, kick it through, lift the leg, tap the toes, return to your starting position. Same side, kick the leg through, lift the leg, and tap the toes. Rest. Breathe. Now press into the mat, lift the knees a couple of inches off the mat, kick the leg through, lift the leg, tap the toes, and return to your starting position. Rest. We'll get the other side. 3, 2, 1. So come up, kick the leg through, lift the leg, tap the toes. Halfway done. Other side. If you want to make it insanely difficult, you can rest in your bear plank pose. So in case you didn't understand what I was saying, if you want to make that section insanely difficult, instead of putting your knees down and resting in a tabletop position or a kneeling position for those 10-second rest intervals, You can keep your knees elevated off the mat the whole time and rest in your bear plank. Spend your 10-second rest intervals like this. That is way too much for me today in the shape I'm in right now. And after struggling for almost 20 minutes with that buy-in. But if you didn't do the buy-in and you're really fresh, or if you're just in really good shape and you want the additional challenge, that's a really good way to increase the difficulty. You can always do it for a few rest intervals and then put your knees down for a few. But since we're not adding weight to that workout, that's a really good way to add difficulty to it without adding weight. All right. I don't know how I'm gonna jump rope, you guys. I can't even like move. My legs are just jelly. They're shaking. So I expect that I'm going to be tripping over my jump rope a lot. If that happens, just go with it, okay? It's okay. The point is that you're out here putting in the work. You're trying your best. Your best is always good enough, so let your best be good enough. I know it's frustrating to trip over the jump rope, believe me. I get very frustrated when I trip over my jump rope, but you have to just do your best to keep moving forward. Your heart rate's up, you're getting the work done, you're burning calories, you're strengthening your heart and your lungs, improving your cardiovascular health. So try not to focus too much on the negative if you're tripping over your jump rope. I'm not saying you have to stifle your frustration. It's perfectly normal and natural and reasonable to feel frustrated if you're tripping a lot over your jump rope. I'm just saying to do your best to not let the frustration dictate your mindset moving forward, because that's only going to make the tripping worse. It's only going to increase your frustration. So do your best to just let it go, take a breath, and just jump right back in as soon as you can. Get right back into it, get as many reps done as you can, and just remember you're getting your heart rate up, you're strengthening your heart and your lungs, so it's all good. All right, I'm stalling because I seriously don't know how I'm gonna get my feet up and over this rope with the shape my legs are in after that buy-in. But sooner we get into it, sooner it's done. I did want to keep my breaks in between sections as short as I could. So let's go ahead and start our first jump rope section. If you do need a longer rest break, pause the video, come back when you're ready. I'm starting my timer in 3, 2, 1. This is 10 seconds rest, just to get ready, get into place, so we do not lose anything off of our first 20-second work interval. And now we're going to jump rope for 20 seconds. If I can make my legs move. Oh, they're jelly. My quads are jelly. They're like wobbling and shaking. All right, shake it out. Rest for 10, and now 20 seconds of jump rope. That's our first exercise and first little jump rope interlude complete. I forgot to mention it before beginning that jump rope section, but at the end of the 4 minutes, so after each individual interval, my timer does 2 beeps to let you know that the interval is up. At the end of the whole 4 minutes, it does that long series of beeps to let you know that you're finished your final interval. So when I'm jumping rope, as soon as that beeping starts, that means the 4 minutes is up. It means that final 20-second work interval is up and you can stop. I always just like to keep going until the beeping stops. I like to do that for 2 reasons. Number 1, because I was tripping an awful lot. I think I made it through a total of 2 intervals without tripping over my jump rope. So I always assume that some tripping was going on. And so with that extra 15 or 20 seconds or so of beeping at the end, I figured that's making up for the time that I missed off of those work intervals when I was tripping over my jump rope. But I do it even if I don't trip at all over the jump rope because I just like to finish strong. So I like to just keep going through that series of beeps, and then when the beeping stops, I stops. But you don't have to do that. As soon as you hear the beeping start, that means that the work interval is complete and you can stop skipping if you want. For me, it's just the equivalent of like sprinting through the finish line when you're running a race and you feel like you've got nothing left in the tank, and then you see the finish line is like 50 yards ahead, so you just sprint and you go as fast as you can, finish strong. That's what that is. So that's why I do it. I will be doing it for the remaining 4 jump rope sections, just so you know, but you don't have to do that with me. All right. So next is these around the world Supergirl pose with around the world with a light dumbbell. So if you don't want to add weight, remember you can just hold your Supergirl pose. If you are adding weight, but it's too difficult to do it from your Supergirl position, you can do it from kneeling or from stand. That's fine, just to make sure that whatever you are using for weight, whether it is a dumbbell or a household item, make sure it feels light to you if you're adding weight. All right, this exercise is so difficult and I am so spent. So this is going to be a challenge for sure, so just do your best. So we're going to come down onto your belly. I have the weight in front of me, it's extended overhead, or both of my arms are extended overhead, and I'm grabbing hold of my dumbbell with one hand. And I'm going to lift my chest, lift my legs off the mat, and pass the dumbbell, switching hands as I bring the dumbbell behind my back. And I'm going to continue around in a clockwise motion. The dumbbell is going to continue traveling in the same direction for the entire work interval. So if you need a longer rest break, pause the video, but that's been a good like 5 minutes at least, I think. But if you need to rest longer, that's fine, pause the video. Come back when you're ready. This is a super tough exercise, so let's just push through, do your best. I'm starting my timer in 3, 2, 1. This is our 10-second rest interval to get into position. 3 more seconds, so lift the legs, lift the arms, and now bring the dumbbell behind you, transfer the dumbbell to the other hand, and transfer it back. Rest for 10. So now we're going to go in the opposite direction. I know it's super tough, just do your best. Lift the legs, lift the arms. Rest, rest. Other direction. So hard. We're halfway done. 2 more rounds on each side. Just once more on each side. Gotta really push. Oh, it's so hard. I was cheating a lot towards the end. I was resting the dumbbell on my back. As I made that transfer, I was setting it down in between reps. But that is such a tough exercise. Honestly, it may not have looked great, but that was the best I could do. That is just such a hard exercise. Okay, 4 more minutes of moderate paced cardio. So whatever you're doing for cardio is fine. You can pantomime jumping rope, you can jog in place, you can do high knees, you can do up and down the stairs for 4 minutes. You can hop on the exercise bike or the treadmill, the elliptical or something like that for 4 minutes. Or you are not including these cardio sections, you can just skip ahead to our next strength training exercise. Oh, I want to be moving faster than this. I want to have already started my jump rope, but my legs are just jelly. You would think after another 4 minutes of working something other than legs, they would feel ready to go, but they just don't. That exercise actually does work legs because it takes a lot of strength to keep your legs elevated off the mat. So yeah, legs are still jelly. Still gonna be tripping a lot over my jump rope, but I'm just gonna do my best. We'll go with it, whatever happens, happens. Do your best, and remember that your best is always good enough, so let your best be good enough. If you need a longer rest break, pause the video, come back when you're ready. I could use a longer rest break, but I'm going to push through and start my little cardio section. It's only 4 minutes. So here we go, starting my timer in 3, 2, 1. This is our 10-second rest interval. Oh my God. My body was rebelling. I was trying to swing my rope around and my foot was like involuntarily holding the rope down so that we couldn't do any more jump rope. My body was like, that was enough. Let's rest. We do 15-second rest intervals and 15-second rest intervals. This is taking so much out of me today. So if you do not need all this downtime, please use the chapter markers to skip ahead to the next exercise. The next exercise is arm circles. Another one that looks easy, even with the weights, because it's such a small, simple movement, and because we're using light weights for this. But trust me, it's very challenging. So if you do not want to add weight, remember you can just hold your arms out to the side, extend your arms out to the side and make arm circles just like we do for our warm up. But instead of increasing the range of motion, you're just gonna keep the circles small, like you're drawing circles around your shoulder joints like this. So I'm gonna do one work interval, circling my arms in a clockwise motion, rest for 10 seconds, and then wait for the plank. So 20 seconds, rotating clockwise, rest for 10 seconds, and then with the next 20-second work interval, you will rotate your arms counterclockwise. So just alternating which direction you're rotating your arms with each work interval. All right, so I know I'm taking long rest breaks. I just don't feel like I have enough stamina to continue. So that was a good, I don't know, 5 minutes or so. I'm not timing it, but I know that was a nice long rest break. So even though I still feel really kind of exhausted and I don't feel like I have a lot of stamina, my legs are still shaky, I do want to keep going. I want to continue and get the workout done. I wanted to keep it under 90 minutes. I wanted to keep it as close to an hour as I could. Obviously, it's going to be closer to 90 minutes than an hour, and I'm not timing it, the workout as a whole, but the goal is just to keep moving. I want my rest breaks in between each section to be as short as possible. So I'm gonna push through. If you do need to rest longer, again, just pause the video, come back when you're ready. I'm starting my timer in 3, 2, 1. This is 10 seconds to rest. So, a couple more deep breaths. Pick up your weights if you're using weights. Extend your arms out to the side and now just make small circles. Breathe. Rest. With the next work interval, I'm going to switch directions. So now I'm making my circles to the front. Oh, rest. Switching directions again. can always drop the weights. Make sure you're not locking out your arm when you do this. Make sure there's a slight bend in your elbow. Elbows, both elbows. Oh my God. So much harder than they look, those last two exercises, really all three exercises that we've done so far. All three of our Tabata exercises, I should say. But with that one, it's not long before those 20-second work intervals start feeling like 60-second work intervals. And before these 5-pound dumbbells start feeling like 15s. But that's it. That's our third weight training exercise of 5. Next is another 4 minutes of cardio. You want to get right into it as quickly as you can. You should be going at your own pace. So for me today, I'm needing very long rest breaks. My stamina is just not there. And so I'm needing a long time to recover in between each section. So again, you should take as long as you need. Challenge yourself to keep your rest breaks as short as you can though. So if you are stronger than I am right now, and you don't need to be taking such long rest breaks, you really shouldn't. As soon as you feel that you are able to continue, that you have the stamina to continue with good form, and that you have enough strength to continue, you should continue. Me, I'm just needing these really long rest breaks in between. I didn't anticipate that I would be struggling quite this much with my stamina today, but this is just where I am today. This is what's happening. So, like I always tell you, you don't want to push your body into doing anything it's not ready to do. So at the end of the day, yeah, this is taking a lot longer than I wanted, but I have to be where I am. So I'm working, just like I always tell you to do, I'm working at my own pace. This is where I am today, so If you're in better shape than I am, just skip ahead to the next section. And if you need to rest longer, pause the video. Come back when you're ready. Again, I don't feel ready, but I feel like I can continue. It might not be pretty. There might be a lot of tripping. There probably will be a lot of tripping, but I feel like I can get through this 4 minutes. It's gonna be tough, but I'm gonna go for it. So as soon as you are ready, and shake out the legs. One more time, a couple more deep breaths. And starting my timer in 3, 2, 1. Always starting with our rest interval. And now here we go, 20 seconds, so jump rope, do your best. All right, just 16 minutes left. Not including, of course, all this downtime that I'm having to take in between. But we have 2 exercises left. So 8 more minutes of HIIT, 8 more minutes of moderate paced cardio. So we're getting there. The buy-in's done. Our first 3 strength training exercises are done. So 3 out of 5 strength training exercises are done, and 3 out of 5 cardio sections are done. We're getting there. For another 30 seconds or so I don't have to shout over it. So my next strength training exercise, now I've switched to my heavier dumbbells, so I have just 1 heavier dumbbell here for this. This is my sit-up plus tricep overhead press, but it's just going to be 1 sit-up per 20-second work interval. So I'm going to do 1 sit-up, and then I'm going to stay here and just do tricep overhead presses for the remainder of my 20-second interval. So if you prefer, you can just do tricep overhead presses without the sit-up. You can do them from standing or kneeling. And if you don't have weight, then you can just do any sit-up variation you want, or crunch variation, or if you would prefer to work your upper body, you can do a push-up variation instead. But I'm going to be holding onto my dumbbell like this, 1 hand on either side of the dumbbell. I'm going to sit up and then do my tricep overhead presses. So I'm starting on my back. My knees are bent, feet are flat on the mat, arms extended overhead, and I'm starting my timer in 3, 2, 1. Starting as always with our rest interval so that we don't lose anything off of our first work interval. We have a few seconds to get ready, and now sit up. And now tricep overhead press. We're staying here for the remainder of the interval. So remember to keep the insides of your elbows glued to your temples. From your shoulders to your elbows should not be moving. You're just hinging at the elbows. Back down and rest. 10-second rest interval. And now here we go, another sit up. Now staying here. And just working those triceps for the remainder of the interval. If your heavy weight is too much for this, drop it and pick up something lighter. Pick up whatever you used for the exercises 2 and 3, whether it's a lighter dumbbell or maybe a household item like a water bottle or a shampoo bottle. Okay, another sit up, tricep overhead press. And rest. I know it's getting hard, keep pushing. I know it's hard. I know that each one of these exercises, it's like a burnout on every single one because we're just doing the same thing for 4 minutes straight. We have those 10-second rest intervals, but we're essentially just doing the same exercise, working the same muscles for 4 minutes straight, and it's really hard. The first couple of intervals might seem kind of easy, and then it gets really hard really fast. I know that. You guys are doing it with you. I know it's hard, but that's the point of doing these Tabata-style workouts, is that I want that kind of burnout with each exercise. So that was our fourth strength training exercise, Tabata strength training exercise. I'm not including the mini squat pulses because that was our buy-in of our Tabata circuit. That was our fourth exercise, fourth strength training exercise out of 5. So we have just one more to go. One more strength training exercise to go, but first we're going to do another 4 minutes of moderate paced cardio. Again, I'm just struggling with my stamina today, so I'm giving myself an extra few minutes. To allow my heart rate to come down a little more. Trying to normalize my breathing. Taking nice, slow, deep breaths. Just visualizing breathing into my muscles, kind of visualizing my body sending oxygen to those muscles that are so fatigued so that they can recover. And then as I exhale, and I'm expelling all that bad stuff, as I'm expelling all that CO2, which isn't bad stuff, but you know what I mean. I also like to visualize breathing out the pain, breathing out the soreness. So as I expel that CO2 from my body, I try to visualize expelling right along with it the soreness, the fatigue. Obviously, nothing's changing physiologically, but psychologically, it just helps me kind of stay focused on my breathing and focusing on what the breathing is for, kind of checking in with my body, seeing what's hurting, seeing where my stamina level's at. So it's just always a good idea to stay connected with your breathing. I'm gonna take a few more deep breaths. So if you don't need this long rest break, just skip ahead. That's what the chapter markers are for. All right. I'm gonna push myself to get into it, even though I feel like I wanna just collapse on my mat and curl up in the fetal position and cry. I am going to push through. I'm gonna get through this next 4 minutes of moderate paced cardio. So I'm gonna shake out the legs one more time. I'm gonna take a few more deep breaths, and then I'm gonna go ahead and get into it. So if you need a longer rest break, pause the video. Come back when you're ready. Remember to challenge yourself to keep the rest break as short as you can, but allow yourself to take as long of a rest break as you need, like I am. All right, ready as I'll ever be. So I'm going to go ahead and start my timer in 3, 2, 1, always starting with the rest interval. Using this opportunity to shake out the legs again. Take one more deep breath, and here we go. feel like I can barely even lift these weights right now. Like that was everything I had in me to just pick them up and carry them 6 feet from the wall to here. Seriously. So we have just one exercise left. That's our Arnold press, and we're adding 2 marches with each press. So we're going to press the weights up overhead, pause, and we're going to march in place twice, 1 step on each foot, driving the knee up as high towards the chest as you can before we bring the weights back down to the shoulders and squeeze them together in front. Oh my goodness. So if you do have 2 sets of weights, I'm using my heavier set of weights for this. You can start with your heavier set of weights if you feel that you have enough strength to do so. And then just have your lighter set of weights on standby, have them close by so that if you need to drop down to the lighter weights, you have those ready to go. I'm stubborn, so oh, poor Coda. I'm stubborn, so I'm gonna stick with my heavier set of weights. All right, am I ready? No, I am not. But do I want to get this over with? Yes, I do. So, just gonna shake out the legs, shake out the arms. I'm upright, so we're moving in stages. But I'm just gonna breathe for another minute while I allow my heart rate to come down and while I just allow myself to feel like I have enough stamina that I can continue with decent form. All right, this is our final exercise. So just 4 more minutes of strength training, and then we just have our final 4-minute cardio section, and that's it. All right, so we got this. We're on the home stretch. If you need a longer rest break, pause the video, come back when you're ready. I'm starting my timer in 3, 2, 1. This is 10 seconds of rest. So get ready. I'm rotating my wrists so that my palms are facing you, and now I'm curling the weights up, bringing the weights to my shoulders. Oh, I forgot my march. Press the weights up overhead. Remember, we're gonna do these 2 marches at the top. That's right. So it's an Arnold press, but we're gonna pause here, march, march, bring the weights back down to the shoulders and squeeze them together in front of you. Rest for 10. So starting with the weights in front of you, weights to the shoulders, press the weights up overhead, march, march, bring the weights back down to the shoulders, squeeze the weights together in front of you. Squeeze. Always, every aspect of the movement is under control, so control the movement as you lower the weights, control the movement as you bring the weights in front of you. Make sure you're not banging the weights together. You want to just lightly tap them together. So you're controlling the movement right here, squeezing. Squeeze the weights together in front of you until they just touch. All right, we are just about finished. We're finished with the weights. That was our fifth and final strength training exercise. So our Tabata circuit is complete. All we have left to do is just our final 4-minute cardio section. Giving myself a couple extra minutes to rest and breathe. I want to feel like I have enough strength in my arms to swing the rope around. I want to feel like I have enough strength in my legs to get my feet up and over the rope. And I want to feel like I have enough stamina to get through all 4 minutes. Gonna have to push really, really, really hard to get through this final 4 minutes. Taking a couple more really long, slow, deep breaths. All right, if you need to rest longer, you know the drill. Pause the video, come back when you're ready. I'm gonna push through and get this final 4 minutes done. It might not be pretty, but we're gonna get it done. So as soon as you're ready, here we go. Starting my timer in 3, 2, 1. Get 10 more seconds to rest. That's it. That's our final cardio section. So we're almost done. We did our buy-in, which took almost 20 minutes all by itself. And then with that final cardio interval, we have now completed our 40 minutes of Tabata-style HIIT and moderate paced cardio. We made it through our circuit of 5 Tabata-style strength training exercises, and we completed 5 jump rope sections, or moderate paced cardio, whatever type of moderate paced cardio you were doing. But we are not quite finished yet. You guys know that no workout of mine is ever complete until we have done our bonus burpee. So we have just 1 rep left to go, but first, whenever I do a workout that includes jump rope, and that is most of my workouts include jump rope. In addition to my bonus burpee, I also like to do a bonus set of 100 with my jump rope. So when I say a set of 100, I'm talking about revolutions of the jump rope. So all that means is that I'm going to be counting revolutions of my jump rope. So you can do any style of cardio or any style of jump rope that you want. My brain's fried, I can't even talk. Any style of jump rope that you want. You're just counting revolutions of the jump rope. And this is completely optional. You do not have to do this with me. It's just a little bonus I like to do at the end of the workout before I do my bonus burpee. Again, just to finish strong. It's like a little exclamation point at the end of the workout. So if you would like to join me, just gonna count 100 revolutions of the rope, and hopefully I can get through it without tripping. When you're ready, here we go. So counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and that is 100. So that's my little bonus set of jump rope. I'm gonna do one more little bonus before my bonus burpee. And I'm not quite sure if this is really a bonus or if I miscounted and I have not yet completed my full 400 mini squat pulses, because I still feel like I may have lost count somewhere in there during the buy-in. So what I'm gonna do is just do an extra 100 mini squat pulses. So some or all of these may not be extra technically, but I'm just gonna do another set of 100, and that way I'll just know there will be no question that I got at least 400 reps done. So again, this is completely mandatory, but if you are not done torturing yourself and you would like to join me, we're gonna do another 100 mini squat pulses as soon as you're ready. That's 30. Trying to keep my rest break short here. I'll take a longer rest break after I hit the 50 rep mark. So let's do another 20. 40. 50. So I'm taking a bit longer rest break here. And then my goal is to repeat that. 30 reps unbroken, short, 15, 20-second rest break, and then the final 20 reps. Picking up my count at 50. So I'm trying to get to 80 without stopping. When you're ready, here we go. 60. 70. 80. I know this final rest break is gonna end up being more than 20 seconds, but my legs are shot. Oh. All right, just 20 reps left to go, and then we'll do our bonus burpee, and then I promise that's it, we're done. Picking up my count at 80. 85, 90, 10 more to go, push. 5 more, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100. All right, so it's my bonus set of jump rope and what may or may not have been a bonus set of mini squat pulses. So now, at long last, we have just 1 rep left to go. Let's go ahead and do our bonus burpee together, and then the workout will be officially complete, I promise. Couple more deep breaths. Shake out those legs. We gotta dig deep for 1 final rep. As soon as you're ready, here we go. Final rep of the day. All right, with that, the workout is now officially complete. So let's go ahead and do a quick little cool down together. Just want to get up and move around a little bit. You really don't need to do a structured cool down. You can just kind of pace around, shake out the arms, shake out the legs. Frequently, that is all I will do for my cool down, but especially today, After working the quads and the triceps as much as we did, I'm definitely going to want to just stretch those out a little bit. So start by just kind of pacing around with me a little bit. Shake out the arms, shake out the legs. We're going to do a quick shoulder stretch. So you're just going to bring one arm across your body and use your other arm to pull it in towards your chest, making sure that your arm, the arm that's being stretched, okay, so your straight arm, make sure that arm is completely relaxed. And more to the point, make sure that your shoulder is completely relaxed. If your shoulder is hunched up by your ear and the muscles all tense, you're not getting the benefit of the stretch. So relax this arm, relax the shoulder as you use your other arm to pull your straight arm in towards your chest and really feel that stretch in the other shoulder. So let's get the other side, shake it out, and now bring the other arm across your chest. Bend the opposite arm and use the arm that's bent to pull your straight arm in as close to your chest as you can. Really pull that arm in towards your chest so that you get a nice stretch in the shoulder of the arm that's straight. Make sure that this arm is completely relaxed. Your straight arm is completely relaxed. Your shoulders are relaxed. So you can really feel that stretch. And now let's get those triceps, because we worked those triceps a lot. They're gonna be sore tomorrow. So we can help to alleviate some of that muscle soreness by taking a few seconds to stretch them now. So just bend one elbow, take your opposite hand, place your hand on your elbow, and then just gently pull your elbow towards the opposite shoulder. So I'm gently pulling my elbow towards this shoulder, but make sure as you do that, that your free hand is completely relaxed and your fingers are pointing straight down at the ground. So the point is that you want to make sure that this free hand is not hanging out up here somewhere. Relax the arm. Make sure that hand is nice and relaxed and make sure the fingers are pointing straight down at the ground. Shake it out. Let's get the other tricep. So bend the opposite elbow. Reach up and grab your elbow with the other hand and use your hand to gently pull your elbow towards the opposite shoulder, making sure that the hand that's behind you, your free hand, I should say, making sure that hand is completely relaxed. Fingers are pointing straight down to the ground. And as you do this, you can keep pacing, or you can do what I do and just kind of shift your weight back and forth. Just continue moving around, shaking out the legs, shake out the arms. Let's do a quick quad stretch. So if you struggle with your balance, you may want to grab a strong, sturdy, stable chair, or you can hold on to the wall maybe if you need to hold on to something for support. Even if you don't normally struggle with your balance, after a long, tough workout like that, when you're fatigued, you might find that it's a little bit difficult to balance, whereas usually you don't have trouble with your balance. So don't worry if you're losing your balance, just hold on to something for support. But you're just going to bend one leg, bring the foot up behind you, and now reach back behind you with both hands. Grab a hold of the top of your foot with both hands, and you can see I am very fatigued and I am struggling with my balance. Normally my balance is really good, but I am really, really fatigued after that long, tough workout. So fight for that balance, and if you need to hold on to something, just hold on to something for support. And you're just pressing your heel into your booty cheek, really feeling that stretch in your quads. final breaths. Let's go ahead and do the other leg. So I'll show you from the side so you can see what I'm talking about. You're going to pick up the opposite foot, bend the knee, bring the foot behind you. Now reach back, grab a hold of the top of your foot with both hands and press your heel into your booty cheek. Now as you do that, you also want to make sure you're tilting your pelvis forward. So make sure that this curve that's in the small of your back, we want to try to get rid of that. So tilt your pelvis forward. So it's going to feel like you're kind of tucking your booty underneath you. And visualize trying to suck your belly button all the way back to your spine. Like you're trying to touch your spine with your belly button. So really rotate this way, tilt the pelvis forward, tucking your booty underneath you. And make sure you're continuing to press your heel into your booty cheek as you do that. As soon as you combine those two elements, tilting the pelvis forward as you're really pressing your heel into your booty cheek, you're going to instantly feel that stretch intensify as you isolate your quad muscle in that stretch. One more time, just shake out the legs, shake out the hands, shake out the arms, swing the arms, get those shoulders nice and loose. If you feel that your breathing has not yet normalized, you're still breathing kind of heavily, and your heart rate is still elevated, and you need a few more minutes to cool down, just continue pacing around. You can do a little bit more light stretching until you feel that your heart rate is back to your normal resting heart rate and your breathing has normalized as well. So now it's really important to make sure that you're taking a good 15 or 20 minutes at least to stretch. I know we did a little bit of light stretching as part of our cool down, but that does not take the place of a proper stretching routine, and it's really important that you're stretching every day. Right now, if you can find the time, 15 or 20 minutes at least, to do your stretching right now, this is the best time to get your stretching done because your muscles are already nice and warm from the workout. So this is going to be the most efficient and the most effective time to get your stretching done. But if you do not have time to stretch now, that's fine. You can put it off until later in the day. As long as you're getting it done at some point during the day, that's what's important. Just remember that if you wait until later in the day to do your stretching, that your muscles will have gotten cold again. So you are going to need to take a few minutes to warm them back up before jumping into your stretching routine. The same way we take 5 minutes to warm up before we begin the workout, it's just as important that you take a few minutes to warm up your muscles before you start stretching. You don't want to jump into your stretching routine with cold muscles. You want to warm your muscles up first so that they're more pliable. That way you reduce your risk of overstretching, you reduce your risk of injury. You're lessening the likelihood that you're going to overstretch or strain something or pull a muscle. So just remember to make sure that you're taking the time to warm up. If you put off your stretching until later in the day, if you can do it now, you're already warmed up from the workout, so you can just jump right into your stretching routine. The important thing though is just that you're getting your stretching done at some point during the day. Taking the time to stretch every day is very important because it is going to help alleviate muscle soreness. So I know I'm going to be feeling sore tomorrow after this long, tough workout, but I also know that if I take the time to stretch right now, that it will make that muscle soreness less severe, less painful tomorrow. So I definitely want to stretch for that reason, but also it is going to reduce your risk of injury moving forward, because the more you are training your muscles to generally be more flexible and more pliable, that means that you're increasing your range of motion, and so it's less likely during future workouts that you're going to strain something or pull a muscle, and you're going to improve your flexibility, which is important in and of itself. You know that I think that flexibility and mobility are both kind of undervalued underappreciated aspects of your total, your overall fitness level. So I think that just improving your flexibility for flexibility's sake is important. So make sure that you don't skip your stretching. 1-hour workout of the day is complete. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did this workout with me today, thank you so much. Please let me know what you thought of it and how you did. Thank you to everyone who has been working out with me lately. And even if you're not doing the workouts with me, thank you for watching the videos. Thank you for liking and sharing the videos. Thank you so much for all of your wonderful and supportive and engaging comments. It truly does mean the world to me. Thank you so much to all of my new subscribers. If you are not subscribed already, please subscribe. And of course, a great big thank you to those of you who have been subscribed to my channel for years. Please know that I appreciate you all so very much. One final reminder that if anything is unclear with the format, if you have questions about the exercises that we are doing today, if you have any doubts about how to do the exercises with the correct form, or if you need any further help with equipment-free substitutions, if you need to see beginner modifications, I am right here to help. So please just ask. That is going to do it for today. But before I say goodbye, I have to say one final thank you to those of you who watch the videos all the way into the end and comment with the secret code phrase of the day. So before I say goodbye, I will give you today's secret code phrase of the day. It is, the tea in Nepal is very hot. So if you are still watching this video, hello, thank you for watching all the way until the end. Please let me know that someone is still watching by going down to the comment section and leaving me a comment that says, the tea in Nepal is very hot. That is going to do it for today, and I will see you all next time. Bye.